personal transformation. We'll touch on that a bit. Yeah, life changes around you, so you have to adapt to what life is throwing at you. So you have to adapt. You've got to try and transform yourself um, in a way that it can keep you on your journey, keep you on your path, to keep you on your walk that you need to go on. Whether that's with work or with being happy or just general life stuff. If you're not happy, for instance, then you've got to readapt. You've got to transform yourself away from why you're not happy. Um, for me, music is one of those things that helps me if I'm, and I've been in dark places, and when life hasn't been working out, um, but I've managed to get myself off those paths and then back onto a path which is working for me, right? So which is keeping me happy. Music has been such an inspiration for me because when you're up playing, when you're up playing music, no one knows the turmoil that you've got going on in your life, and all of a sudden you're up there singing, you know, Sweet Home Alabama, for instance, just as a pub song. Everyone knows it, but those people in the audience are there to listen to that. You can give that while you've got a world of pain going on behind you. So for me, music's been it's a great it's for the times that I can't walk the path. I guess music turns into a bus that I can get on, and it takes me down the road a bit. You know, and it can be a hard run. You're up there sitting there playing music, and you've got, and I've done this a few times where you're sitting there playing and singing, and all you're thinking about in the back of your head is the shit pile that you're sitting in with your life at that point in time. But you've got to get away from that because you're giving that gift that you've got to people out there, and that's why they're there, right? They're not here. They don't want to hear sad songs if they're out there to party, right? So you give positive vibes. That's what you should be doing. That's what music does for me. It gives positive vibes out. If I'm giving it out, I'm going to get them back. So it does help. Um, Having friends there that's a massive thing that people always come up and say, if you ever need anything, don't be afraid to call. And for some people, just hearing that is enough. Just to know that there's someone there is enough. Um, then making that phone call, if you need to make that phone call, if ever you get the chance and someone says make the phone call, make the phone call. You don't have to talk about your problems at all, but the fact that you know that you've got someone that you can ring up and go, hey, how you going? What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and a conversation can lead you to places where you don't expect to go. Just like what we're doing here. There's places that we start talking about something, and all of a sudden we're off on another journey. And you're hearing shit about me that it's just I don't really talk about, but it's the more I'm talking about it, the more value I'm getting out of it because I can see if you take something from this, or you go, shit, yeah, I've been in the same thing, even if it just reminds you of something or a part of your life that you've done, or it accesses a memory into your brain. A memory's a great thing to have. You know, memories, until we get really old, are forever, right? Until you start forgetting shit, right? So, but your memories, they're the stuff that keep you going. I just had a conversation yesterday because, was it yesterday or the day before? I've started to learn how to surf, and well, 3 years I've been learning how to surf, and living on the water, on the beach, sitting on a balcony, having coffee, watching whales, and just living the life. This is fantastic. And I look down, and there's guys surfing, and I'm just like going, "What? I should be doing that, right?" And the only reason I hadn't done it was when I was 17. We drove down the Old Coast Highway to get down here, and it was like when it was one. I think it was one road, sort of. It was like it was such an old road. It was separated by trees in the middle, and it was just, oh my God. We should have seen Fred Flintstone driving. It was that long ago, right? Now we came down. We got a surfboard, and knowing nothing, we've gone out in the worst conditions of the world. I've almost drowned, and I thought, this is the worst sport that I could possibly imagine, and walked away from it because I had such a shit experience. And again, I've said it, it's not until you get older that you realise the lessons that you're learning until you get older. So the instance with me surfing, if I had gone back on a better day, I would have had a better experience and I would have been surfing a lot longer, right? So anyway, here's me, 50 years old, living on the beach. Let's watch a video, how to be a surfer in half an hour. So for half an hour I've sat and went, I've got this down pat. Go and get a surfboard. $30 I think I paid for it. Get it into the water. I couldn't even line the damn thing, let alone paddle out or do anything, right? So I had the wrong surfboard, I had all this sort of stuff. And I'm just going, what am I doing? Long story short about it, a guy at work, Hero, he's part of the sort of safety crew, and his boss says, "Oh, Hero surfs. Why don't you go out with him?" And Hero's going, "Yeah, come out with me, mate." And he's young, young guy. And sure enough, we get out there, and I think we went out. The Spit was the first place we went out to. It took me 45 minutes to get out behind the waves, right? So I'm near dead. And I finally get out the back, and I'm like going, "Oh, yucks." So I didn't know what to expect next, right? I thought, oh, now I've got to stand up. So I'm sitting out the back, and this is where putting out positive gets back your positive, because as bad as I must have been compared to everyone else out there at that time, Heroes turned around and said, he says, "I got mates that have been surfing longer than you, mate." And he says, "They still have trouble getting out the back." And it made me feel really good, right? Here's me, 50 years old, jumping out with the young guys. Zoom forward 3 years, and in paths that you choose in your life, one of the best paths I've chosen for our memory bank that we were talking about is surfing. Because great friends. I've got such good friends in our surf crew. Your fitness, all that sort of stuff. Another guy that I know that I used to work with, he calls it Dr. Ocean. So the best doctor you go and see is Dr. Ocean. And you can't get any truer words than that. It just washes everything away. Again, when I'm playing music, it washes everything away. When you get out into the water, it just cleanses everything, right? And then when you do stuff like you get on the surf and you can put your head under the water, and during the migration period, you can hear the whales, right? So you don't get that. If you're not in the water getting out behind the breaks, it's another thing. It's another memory that I'm getting from surfing. And I used to have the guys come out and the girls as well. And I remember sitting in the water behind the break, and I look down the line, and I can see everyone they're having a bit of a chat with each other, and I got it. And what I meant, you see the surfer guys, you think they've It was kind of like bit beachy, spiritual sort of dudes. The hardcore ones like from California and all that sort of stuff. But there's a reason for that, and my reason that I think that it's like that is to get out the back behind the waves, right? Um, I'll get back to that. But when I was sitting there, I was watching all my friends, and I'm looking, I'm going, this is life. It doesn't get any better than this. We've just all gone through a struggle to sit where we are right now. And what I mean by that is when you're going out and the waves are crashing, sometimes it's easy to get out the back, sometimes it's not. When you're a beginner, it is so hard. And there's different ways you get out and all the rest of it. But sitting out there, so finally you get out the back. Behind you, you've got waves crashing, you've got sand, you've got things billowing, you've got people crashing off boards, but when all of a sudden you turn back and look forward out at the horizon, it is flat, it is calm. And when you go for a walk in your life and you get older, that's the path you want to try and choose. It's not always going to be flat and calm, but that's the path you want to go and choose. Because when you look behind you, there's all that turmoil that you've gone through to get to this point. Now for the surfing, you've gone through most mornings, some mornings, a hell of a time to get through all this turmoil of white water and waves crashing to get yourself to where you are sitting in this nice little peaceful zone. And that's what we do, and that's what I'm discovering that's what I'm doing in life as well. You've got to go through shit to get to this peace place, or somewhere on your path where it levels out and you can keep going, you can keep being happy. Um, it's That's where it becomes very spiritual. It does kind of all make sense, and taking the positives out of negatives with the Rona thing that we've got going on. Good old Rona, we love Rona. Although there's negatives, there's positives that you've got to take out of this as well. And for me, the positives I guess I've taken out of it is I found some more time for me. You get so caught up in work. Before all of this went on, I hadn't had a day off since December. I had one day off since December, and then a couple of days in between, like a week of moving, but that doesn't count because no one likes moving. It's not a break. But I had no time off, and it was gig and then work Monday to Friday. Then it was gig and gig, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, because I host trivia and I'm singing and I'm emceeing and look at I love it. But you don't. Everyone else around you is going, how do you keep going? And it's not until all of this happened, you're forced to slow down, retake your walk to where you want to go in your life. And I guess this is kind of what it's helped me to stop and slow down and then focus on other things in my life that I wanted to improve on, but I haven't because I haven't had the time. Surfing, for instance, 3 years I've been busting my ass out in the water, and I've had encouragement after encouragement, and I've been wiped out and smacked in the face with boards and swimming with sharks and stingrays and jellyfish, and like, don't get me wrong, it's lovely out there, but there's just things you've got to go through, but you're doing it for me. It was with intent, and that intent was I wanted to stand on a board consistently. So in the last few weeks, going out with the guys from the surf crew, kook slayers we called. If you don't know what a kook is, go and put up kook surfing, and they're just tragic, horrific crashing stories of surfers. That was the majority of us when we first started. But in saying that, I'm now standing, and I feel great. All this hard work that I've put in has come out. The other thing that I've just thought of is I've always thought I didn't have enough time in the water because I was so busy. But it's not true. I've just been getting up and getting to the water more. Because if I have a look at the time scale um, of me having to get up, say I was still at work, for instance, right? I get up in the morning, I go surfing. By the time I'm finished, I'm still back home, showered, before I'd have to be at my actual job. So when someone says you don't have enough time, you do. You've just got to make time. You know, I saw one of those posts when someone says there's not enough time in the day. Have a look at people like Helen Keller, and they made time. Einstein, they got to where they were because they made time. And it's the same with me. And I've only just discovered this is because of we've made time. It's always there. The time's there for you to use. It's just how you use it and what you put into it is what you get out of it. Again, stressing that enough. You know, I'm back into playing and writing some tunes, surfing more, getting out and just expanding what I do on a normal daily basis. I can put more into without having to steal time away from what I'm already doing. I think once you realise there is that time, time doesn't change for anybody. It's how you change yourself in time, and that's what I'm just really discovering that sort of stuff at the moment too, and I'm enjoying it. I miss work, gonna miss money soon, but that's we're all in the same boat. We are all in the same boat, you know. So if it can help someone, help them. Um, and if that means by listening to someone, that's helping them. As I said to you before, if someone says, if you ever need anything, give me a call. Just knowing that you've got someone there that you can make a call to. I said it before, you don't have to ring up and go, I can't do this, I can't do that, but just ring up and go, hey, how you going? What's going on? Can be enough just to rattle the cage a bit, loosen up the feathers that are stuck in there, and just blow them out, get rid of them, and just keep yourself moving. Planning forward. What do I want to do going forward now? I think the world changed with the attitude a lot, say, from 9/11 and our approach to things, and that changed a lot of operational sort of aspects of how we move around in the world. Good old Rona, I think, is going to do the same thing. Even though I've noticed with the social interaction, even though every morning for us, when we see, we're always given a handshake or a high five, and we kind of don't do that anymore, which I do miss that, but because we're conditioning ourselves to do the right thing, we're kind of changing in a process that we're not ready. We haven't created it, but it's creating another change to which I think we're going to have to adapt to. How different things are going to be after, I don't know. Look, it'll probably all change once the pubs open. once the pubs open, everyone starts drinking. All this is just going to go, Rona, who was that? Yeah, I'm probably right on that aspect, but I think there will be some things that will change. What they are, I don't know. I certainly hope it's people's attitudes towards each other. When this first started happening, right before there was a protest, just of a single girl in a face mask, and she was Asian. I think she was Chinese, and she was holding a sign saying, "Just because I'm Chinese, I'm not the problem." And she wasn't the problem. She is just a person. I mean, and I keep saying it. We all bleed the same colour. Doesn't matter what you are on the outside or where, you know, we all bleed the same colour. Blaming uh, for the for Rona, for instance, blaming one race for that. Yeah, kind of. I think you if you think that way, I think you need to evaluate your thoughts. You know, um, and that's just my thought. We can't go around. I mean, we all not to we don't. I won't mention nationality, but with past wars that we have, um, is every person from that nationality from a disastrous war, are they all arseholes? Are they horrible people? No, they're not. You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. That shit's in the past, right? Again, they're the life lessons. If you're not making mistakes, you haven't learned, and you'll see that with a lot of post-war nations a long time after. They're the ones, the younger generation that weren't even involved are apologising. You know, and it's not, it wasn't them doing it. It was just what happened in the past. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, well, that's a bit deep. You don't want to go too deep. Happy thoughts, right? Keep it positive. When you're playing music, play in a major key because it's happy. You play a minor key, yeah, a bit of sadness there. Keep it happy. That's what I want to try and do in life. Um, and going back to where I want to go now, I want to increase up what I can give, regardless of what it is. I think I enjoy being a safety guy because you get to look after people. You get to so in the aspect of that, if I can get people going home um, physically the same way they turned up at work, great. If I can have someone go home on a mental value where I've made them laugh, or to what they were, they might have been having a crap day, or they had a run in, or co-work, all that sort of stuff that sort of goes on that you have in a workplace. If I can get someone a bit of a laugh or a joyous moment, that's my positive giving out. Do you get anything back from that? Of course you do. You don't ask for it, but it's there for the joy of um, giving someone something that you can see where they uplift. That's what you want. Music for me, that's huge. I got asked a question this morning: how do you feel playing in a room when no one's looking at you? No one's paying any attention. They are. They are, because I'll sit and watch feet, and you'll see fingers tapping. No one's making contact, but they're sitting watching, and I'll sit and watch feet, and I'll look around the room, and I'll be, oh, okay, yeah, they're engaging, and I'm getting back because I know subconsciously they're getting back, and I know they're getting back because at the end of the night, people go, oh, that was great, and you'll get some compliments, and you'll just think they were listening. So, and it's the same with life. You get I get that with people that I deal with on a daily basis, is by making them laugh or giving them some advice. Um, I want to sort of break on it, but one of the I think the mistakes that we all do is a good majority of us give great advice. Because I know I give great advice to people, and not all the time, but most times there's times you'll stop and think, and where a lot of us falter on that, we don't listen to what we're saying. We can talk, we can give, and there's times I give advice, I'm going, oh shit, I wish someone had said that to me. Well, hang on, they just did. I did. So if you can learn to break away from yourself, or have a conversation with yourself, or pretend you're talking to Margaret in your house, and have those conversations, and answer for Margaret, or answer for yourself, or write it down on a piece of paper so it becomes tangible, it's solid, and see what advice you would give yourself. Um, a trick to do, especially in business, if you're dealing with friends and so forth, is what the issue is, remove the person's name and put person A, person B. Then give that to someone and go, can you read that and tell me what you would do? So all of a sudden, you've got no emotional connection, okay? And you can all of a sudden break that out and go, okay, this is, what would you do in this situation? Well, I'd do this, and this, right? Or I'd follow this path, or I'd go down. Yeah, okay, that's good advice. Do you know who that's about? No, I don't. Well, that's about you. And this is one of the things. Do I do it? I've got to be better at doing it, and it's going to be one of those things again that I've got to. If you want to pass this on, especially for your kids, just keep doing it. Keep saying, just giving them the advice. They might be looking at you going. One of the conversations I had with my kids a while back was a few years back, and I just go into these rants and splendors, and after 5 minutes, unbeknownst to me, I've lost the kids. 5 minutes was enough, right? But I just go on these grandeur talks and going, you've got to do this if you can do that, right? After I've gone through a couple of things, that's where you're going to stop with kids. Because after that, it's just like, it's like the dog from Simpsons. That's all it turns into. It's exactly what it is. If you can learn to shorten your important conversations that you want to have in life with your kids, just shorten them and then walk away. Just leave it alone because it's not going to go anywhere. They don't want to hear anymore. But you know, as I said earlier, it's walking past one of my kids and I could hear my voice coming out. Going, there it is. There it is. There's the advice that she's giving that she didn't take, that I gave her that I didn't take. Right? So it is a circle, but I think if we teach it right, it can be broken. And there's nothing to say because you don't take your own advice. There's nothing wrong with that, but the sheer fact that subconsciously it'll sit there. It will sit there and it will somehow get you back into your path and your journey of your life. And that's what it is. And that's why I guess I'm calling this the long walk, because take your time. Walk your path. Don't run it. You know, it's what's at the end of a race? The end. Don't race to the end. Keep yourself going. Take your time. If we're lucky enough to get to a great age, then look back and say I've had a great walk. Don't say you ran. You don't want to. Who likes running? I don't like running. I love exercise, but I hate running. But make your path, make it a walking path, and the more time you take walking, the more time you can take things in. Go for a walk around at Kangaroo Point or in the city or up at Springbrook, or around your home suburb. Go for a run. How much did you take in? Go for a walk and take your time and see what you appreciate, see what you can remember, see what you value of there.
Okay.
All of a sudden you can look at how pretty is that? If you run, you're not going to see you're not going to see how pretty things are.
Thank you, Sean. Now, how can we follow you? Give us your contact
Follow
dates.
me. I am. Well, the best way to do it is on Facebook. So, which is just Sean Harcourt-Bell. So that's hyphen BELL. So SEAN. And through there, you'll see a couple of links from my solo pages. And also, if you're lucky enough to go to Movie World during Fright Nights, you will have seen me as the Beast in my absolute element and glory, get dressed up as a demon, coming out entertaining the masses. Again, the doors that open in this life that you have, and by taking time and meeting the right people, not rushing past those people, and making time and contacts and friendships, has opened so many doors. Even if you jump on YouTube and just look up Sean Harcourt-Bell, you'll see some stuff up on there. Um, Through this as well, I've been more committed to putting up live stuff on Facebook as well. So you'll see me playing some more music and all that sort of stuff. I have got an Instagram account, but nothing flash. I just put random stuff up there. So if you like random shit, go to SHB 1967, I think it is. That's Instagram. Um, and for all you dinosaurs that have MySpace, I don't have mine either, so my first social page. And social media, right? That's what it's for. It's a social platform. If you don't like what someone puts up on there, if someone's opening up a debate or they want to have that conversation, jump in. But if someone's putting up something they have, that's their social. That's why it's called a social platform. Let them go. Let them have it. If they're having a rant or they're pissed about something, let them deal with that. That's them getting their negativity out. You don't have to take that on. Move on to another post. You know, don't believe everything you see on the internet by Abraham Lincoln, right? So find something funny on there. What you get out, what you put out, is what you get back. You know, what you get in, is what you get out. You know, what you put out. You know, so stay positive, stay happy. Michelle, thank you. This is the Couch Out Loud. Thank you so much, everybody, for talking. Having a bit of a chat. Some stuff that came out certainly was surprising. There's by talking like this, there's probably another massive session you could go on to with a lot of other things. And I'd probably encourage, as a project for yourselves, with your kids, do it at home. Like grab the kids and sit down, or get one of your kids to interview you. You know, you've heard people talking about what letter would you write to 12-year-old you? So why don't do it now? We've got this format, these social formats. You don't have to post it or anything, but sit down with the kids and get the kids to interview you, or you interview your kids and see, and by having this talking session, and this is where I guess where psychiatrists and psychiatrists, psychiatrists, they open you up. At the point where you sit there, you're talking to them, you think that they're not doing it, they are, because you're opening up, and that's what this is all about. And hopefully by you sitting here, having a bit of a chat with Michelle and I, this has opened you up as well. And take something away and be happy, and find your own path to walk. Don't run. It's a lot safer. Thank you, guys.